Hello, everybody. I'm Anna, and I'm with Because International, and we are so excited today to welcome you to our warehouse and our office here in Nampa, Idaho. And we have a very special guest with us today, Joan Endicott. She is a supporter and friend of our organization, and we have some fun stuff we're going to talk about. Specifically, we're going to talk about Christmas shoeboxes and why the shoe that grows makes a great addition to your Christmas shoeboxes. But before we get into that,
Okay.
I want to tell you a little bit about Joan. Joan is an international speaker and a coach, and she is just has so many awesome experiences that she's going to share with us today, and tell us just a little bit more about why she loves the shoe that grows, for a lot of reasons, not just for Christmas shoe boxes. And so let's get into that, Joan. Why don't you
Yes,
tell us a
I
little
love
bit?
it. Okay, so I'll just tell you first of all, I think these are the eighth wonder of the world, pretty much.
We think so
they
too.
they really are. It's like a miracle. It helps people experience miracles all in a pair of shoes, and I know this firsthand because as a speaker, and I've traveled many places from even in this country, from Alabama to Arizona, taking these shoes to Australia, which some of those shoes went on to Papua New Guinea and the island of Tonga. We've taken them to Thailand. They make the most enormous difference in someone's life. I'll tell you right now, I'll get emotional talking about it because I've seen the difference it makes firsthand where someone, for example, a mama who is carrying her children around, not babies, toddlers, carrying her toddlers around because she's so worried that they're going to walk through toxic soil, toxic water, or thorny weeds that will immediately infect her child, could cause amputation or even death. And if you're a mom or a parent, just imagine not being able to have that freedom for your child to go and play and just be a kid, but also just the impact and the toll that takes on the mom or the parents or the siblings. In a lot of cases, the older siblings are carrying their younger, siblings. We can't imagine that. Most of us watching this video cannot imagine what it's like to not provide the basic necessities for our child. Some of us are like, oh, well, my kid wants this. I'm not talking about wants.
Yep.
I'm talking about the very basics of survival, the very basics of someone being able to make sure their child lives a healthy life
and gets to school. We talk
and
a lot
gets to
about
school.
education and how
Absolutely.
important it is for kids to be able to have uniforms. In some cases, that's a requirement, is to have
Yes.
shoes. And even when it's not a requirement, kids that we're talking about walk a long ways
They
over
do.
all sorts of environments.
Yes.
And it's not just that physical sort of situation, it's also the dignity that it brings when you feel like you can go to school and you can see your peers and you can feel like you have what they have.
Yes.
So
Yes, and a great example of that, one of the times we took them to Mexico, which is this is a funny side note. So we went to Mexico and we took 250 pair. We were going to take them to an organization that feeds children. In fact, they feed thousands of meals every month. And so because of that, we partnered with them to take shoes down there. So here we are in the airport with our 5 duffel bags of shoes that grow, just heaping on our cart along with our regular, luggage.
Yep.
But I've never come eye to eye with not a Great Dane. What are they? The police dogs,
like
German Shepherds.
Yes.
Literally, the dude was so big. I'm like,
I'm looking at
hi.
his face.
I know these are just shoes, but this is a little intimidating. And so you experience that when you get to take these around, you experience challenges of customs and, all of those things. But let me tell you, when we got there, this was one of the best experiences for me ever, is we got to where the pastor and his wife who organized these kitchens were, and we sat down, and with an interpreter's help, what I found out is that this pastor's wife had been praying for 3 years for shoes, specifically shoes for these children. She would get up at 4 a.m. and start praying for shoes for these kids, for their safety, their education, their dignity. And one of these little girls, when we were distributing distributing the shoes, she clutched them and she was holding them. We were helping them put them on, and she was holding them. And I asked the interpreter, I said, does she not want to put these on? And the little girl said, this is the best gift I've ever had. So I want to save it to make sure that they'll last. So I got to hug on her and kiss on her and explain to her, these are going to last you at least 5 years, and they will expand as you grow. And it was just one of the most amazing opportunities, taking those to somewhere that they confirmed, we need these so desperately. Somebody's willing to get up at 4 a.m. and start praying for them. And then it was so impactful to the children that they were like, I want to save these because these are the best things I've ever had in my life. We see that
a lot, actually. We see kids when we do distributions that you know, maybe they have a pair of flip-flops, or maybe they have some beat-up shoes, and they want to save these. They want to save them for when they go to church or when they are doing something special, and we're like, no, wear them to school every day. Use them because that's what they're designed for.
Yes, and they're used to a pair of shoes that'll fall apart. That's why these are the 8th wonder of the world. That's why these are so miraculous, because they do last. And when I explained that to them, they were just like jaw dropped, going, they're going to last how long? And we can wear them every day and in the water, in the mud, wherever they need to. And it protects their feet and their health and their wellness. And like you said, their education and dignity, because even in third world countries, they have a standard of having shoes to go to school. So it opens up this whole new world of opportunity, freedom, independence for these children and their families. I know one little boy had said that he wore them for 5 years and they were still good, so he gave them to one of his siblings. And I'm like, that's the best testimonial ever.
Exactly. And we've seen some of that too in the distributions that we've done. Where we've actually had one time when a child and her mother showed up to a distribution, and the child was wearing an old version of the shoe, and we were able to give that child the next version up and take some pictures of that, and the mom asked, can I keep them? And we don't know if she was going to pass them on to another child, but it was just so meaningful to be like, they're doing their job, they're doing their
and
work,
beyond,
and they
and beyond.
And I think you just brought up a tremendous point, is that sometimes we think about shoes and we think, I mean, so many needs. What is a shoe doing? And I think your stories have just illustrated so much that a shoe makes a difference. It's very tangible,
100%.
And it's very important, and it frees up families to make choices and focus on other things that they need to provide their kids without having to worry about this. And so thank you for sharing those examples.
Frees them up. That's such a great point, Anna, that it frees the parent up to think about, what else can I help my child with? What else can we provide for them? Because they simply don't have the resources for these. And what I love is, what's so exciting about being able to share this is that people don't know about these. This is the only reason anyone is shoeless in the world. I really believe this is the only reason anyone is shoeless, is because not enough people know about it. So I feel so blessed that you asked me to share my experiences, because I'm going, everyone needs to know about this, and no one will be without shoes.
Absolutely.
Because it's such a tiny investment. And it makes all the difference in someone's life to live a happy, healthy life. Like I said, imagine your child not being able to go out and run around and play and just be a kid because they simply don't have a pair of shoes to protect their feet. And so it's so simple, and that's why I call it the 8th wonder of the world, because it pretty much is.
I love it so much. And you know what you've brought to light too is that you know, we make these available. We distribute these shoes as an organization, but we also make them available because we feel that it's really impactful when people like yourself and others that have ministries, that have missions, that work with communities around the world, that they can use these to support and extend the impact of the other work that they're doing, right? So this is a shoe, and we know that communities have other needs, and that people are meeting those needs in all sorts of ways. And you know, having these available for things like mission trips and service trips, or sending them to communities that people are connected with, is just so complementary to meeting the need of that the that the organization is already reaching out to the individual, that
Yes.
they're passionate about. This is just a way to make that impact last longer and be very physically tangible to the communities that are
Oh,
getting served.
and to your point exactly, as a professional speaker and coach, having the opportunity to like connect with my contacts in Australia before I went to do the keynote at the Christian Women's Conference, and in Mexico or wherever I'm going, and even Australia, or I mean even Arizona, because of how hot it gets there, I took down probably, I think it was 200, 250 pair for the shelters, the women and children's shelter and the rescue mission. And they were so appreciative because you mentioned flip flops before. Flip flops can't take 145-degree cement and hold up. And so you don't know what you don't know. And we don't even think about it. But when you start asking, and that's simply all I've done, Anna, is I just, connect with the people. I have contacts there, or sometimes I've Googled it to see what the areas might need. And I say, this is a wonderful opportunity for me to bring some of these incredible shoes if there's a need. And let me just say, no one's ever said, no, we don't have a need like that. It's just opening up because you're saying, here's an opportunity. Where can we plug in to make the most of this? And I'll tell you, I love being a speaker and a coach. And this goes right up there because here's what I believe. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "It is one of the greatest compensations of this life that no one can sincerely try and help another without also helping himself." When you and I get to be part of this. That's the name of my book, as you know, I get to, and my trademark. We get to be a part of this, but we get as much blessing as anyone else. You can't, as scripture says, we're blessed to be a blessing. It's greater to give than to receive. No more is that true than being able to see what these do and the impact that they bring, the lives they change, and the hope. As a mom and a grandma, just being able to see the difference for how these moms are just, so grateful.
So relieved that they have that barrier removed for their child. And that's how we like to talk about it. A shoe isn't everything. It's a small thing, but it removes a big barrier.
It's a small thing that makes a giant impact. It really does. I just feel really blessed to get to be part of it. And we hope you'll join us because there is no way you can realize the impact of it until you do it and you see how much of a blessing because of how life-changing it is. It's literally life-changing and life-saving because so many cases children have gotten amputations or then even died because of an infection that was avoidable had they just had a good pair of shoes. So it's just enormous. It's so, I say, it's the eighth wonder of the world. They're miracles walking around. They open the door of more miracles.
So we're going to talk about today one really great way that people can get involved and use these. That's a pairing that you have found to be true in some of the work that you're doing. And we just have a lot of people that have found that these just make an amazing addition to their Christmas shoeboxes. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Christmas shoeboxes and why these are such a good fit for that particular application. And you've illustrated it so well by sharing some of the examples that people don't always get to see, right?
Absolutely.
You don't always get to see firsthand. And so it's hard to know how much impact something small can have like this. But many of you, if you are familiar with us at all, you pack Christmas shoeboxes, and that might be one reason that you're familiar with us. And so Christmas shoeboxes, there's lots of different kinds of Christmas shoeboxes. Ministries, my church did one where we adopted local elementary schools and things like that. And but one that we are all very aware of is Operation Christmas Child from Samaritan's Purse. And while we are in no way directly affiliated with Samaritan's Purse, we just feel like and have learned from our customers that the shoe is just an awesome item to add to Christmas shoeboxes because it helps people to extend the impact of the gift that they're giving. As I said, is Christmas shoeboxes, and this is one of those ways that when the shoe was coming about and it was going through all its iterations, we weren't even aware of some of the applications that people would find for it. And one of those is enhancing the value and the impact of Christmas shoeboxes. And so there's a lot of different kinds of Christmas shoebox ministries by different organizations, but I think we all know that there's one that is very well known, and that is Operation Christmas Child with Samaritan's Purse. And because International is not directly in any way affiliated with Samaritan's Purse, we just have had a ton of supporters and customers that just have come to the conclusion that our shoes make just a tremendous impact through these gifts that they're sharing, and they just extend the impact of their ministry. And that is what we want them to do. We want them to be a way for people to do the things and work with the communities that they're passionate about, and just make that impact just even more. And so I know that you do Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes each year, and that we already know you love the shoe that grows. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about why you love it for this application?
Okay, one of the reasons I love it for this application is because I've heard firsthand from our dear friends, Mike and Thera Anderson, who were missionaries for decades in Papua New Guinea. They would get these boxes, and Thera actually told me, she said, when a child would open a box and she'd see a pair of shoes, she either wept or jumped for joy or both, because she knew that when the toys broke or the candy was gone or whatever else was in it, she knew this was the one thing that would make the impact in their lives, make the biggest difference in their lives for years to come, and their families. So for her as a missionary for decades to experience that, when they had retired and when they went back, they actually took more shoes with them to Papua New Guinea, because she saw firsthand the difference. Because over there's a lot of really huge thorny briar things. And as soon as, she said, it's just thick with them. So again, I always tell people, just imagine being a mom or dad who cannot provide even the most minor safety things for your child. And then this shows up in a Christmas box, and you're just thanking God for this miraculous provision that will change your child's life and your family's life.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. We know that this is something that's probably priced to be like a wow item for a shoebox, but what better wow item?
Oh,
it's fun.
Wow for years.
And
it's wow
for years, and it's impactful as well as being fun for kids. Because on our newest version, they get to decorate them with shoe charms, and they come with some, and those are fun things that you can add that just allows kids to personalize their gift while still adding all of that protection and usefulness and value and impact for years to come.
And so here's the other thing. People have told me, I'd like to put shoes in mine, but they take up so much room. Here's the thing. We're going to show you how to do this so that it's the best benefit, the biggest bang for your buck all the way around. You don't just set them in and then put things on top. You start by cramming things in here. So we already put socks in here. Here's a washcloth. Here's some Play-Doh. Like, you literally, I'm a professional crammer. And you just start by maybe putting the flat things in the bottom, and you can see how quickly that you can just add things all the way around and be able to give them both fun things as well as the practical change your life shoe that grows. Maybe this goes over here. Oh, I love that fire truck. And then you want to, obviously we want to put fun things in there. We want to be
we want it to be filled to the brim.
We want it to be great all the way around.
And fun for you to pack.
This is Christmas in July because it's like 100 degrees outside.
That's right.
And so this is how important this is for us to be sharing this with you right now.
And you can see we've got toothbrushes, we've got toys,
other practical things you can add.
Socks. And one thing about socks, so if you're sending these, we don't always know where these boxes are going to go. That's part of the way that it works, is they get sent where they're needed. And so you might be thinking, oh, these shoes are kind of sandal-like, and is that going to work everywhere? And what we recommend is that you include a pair of wool socks when you send shoes, because those transform them from summer to winter in really most climates.
Yes, perfectly.
And they make them, you'd be surprised, even in countries like Kenya, where we do a lot of work. while it seems like it's very hot there all of the time to some of us, actually they really appreciate things like socks and wear those
Yes.
throughout the year.
Yes.
And so that's just a great way to extend that value and make sure that wherever they go, that they're going to be really valued and impactful.
Yes.
And one other thing that I wanted to show you that we always make sure you slip in, and this comes with the shoe, and this is a little card that we include with every purchase of shoes so that you can put this in your shoebox with your pairs, and that explains and shows kids without any words, so it doesn't matter where they go or what the language is, but it shows them that these expand and in ways that they may not otherwise understand. And so we always make sure that you include one of those. We give those to you when you order them. And that's just a way to ensure that kids understand how this shoe works. We know they get the buckles and we know they get the flaps and they're used to those kinds of things, but we want to make sure that they know how to get the most out of them.
And I love you did a visual that don't require words so that any child anywhere can just look at that. That's so
they can look at it, and we've worked on that, and it may not be perfect, but it does help kids to be able to understand when you're not going to be able to talk to them firsthand or show them, and it's not a traditional distribution. You can feel confident that they're going to have a good sense of how to make the most of the gift that you're providing to them.
So, so often we talk about purpose in life, and I believe, maybe you share that belief, is that, scripture says to love God and love others, to love your neighbor as yourself. There's no better way. Like literally no more impactful way. And I've seen it personally, as well as, this amazing team at Because distributing them around the world. But I do believe the only reason anyone is shoeless is they simply don't know about this yet. So you and I get to do this, and just, and they're collecting all year long for this. It's not just Christmas, because then it's like start now. Now is the day to buy shoes with Row, to impact a child and their family for years to come.
And there are so many ways to help make it more affordable. We have, with our newest design, this model, not only is it more fun because it comes with fun charms and name tags so kids can add personalization. It's similar to a crock, other than it's way more durable and it expands, of course. But those charms that would go on Crocs, you can buy those. You can personalize your gift with things that are meaningful to you, and just really make these super fun for kids on top of that. And when you buy them in bulk, they do get less expensive with this new version that we've been able to make the costs scalable.
Amazing.
So if you're able to get together with your community, with your church, and make purchases together, you can get a pretty good discount on them. Additionally, we offer fundraising pages. So if
I've had one for years. So I have a fundraising page.
A little bit about how that works and why that's beneficial.
Okay, and here's the other thing. Create your own fundraising page, but also if you're just going to do a specific thing that you say, I just want to raise this much. Literally, if you put one of these promos out on Facebook or Instagram, and you say, hey, this is what I'm doing, who'd like to join with me? If people understand what it is and the impact it will make, people are going to be like sending you money and saying, here, sign me up, because I get to be part of that.
And that's what's so cool, is it's just so approachable, so tangible. And you know that one for one kids are getting help. And that's what's great about the Christmas shoeboxes too. And this is just one way to make them just so much more meaningful and impactful for kids.
There's no greater investment. I really believe that. There's no greater investment.
And we feel so privileged that folks like yourself have found us and have decided that these were a great fit and value, and that they match what they want to achieve by sending these gifts to kids around the world. And so we're really grateful for that. In fact, this month, we're in July. There's a lot of fun things going on. So make sure that you're checking our website and just paying attention on social media, because we're trying to really get the word out this month. We're calling it Christmas in July for the shoe that grows in Christmas shoeboxes all month long. So, which is why we invited Joan here this month to come and just share some of her awesome stories.
I love it. Thank you for the blessing and the privilege, because I sincerely, I don't know of any greater way to spend a few dollars to make such a life-changing impact in a child's life, for their health, their wellness, their education, their dignity. I mean, who doesn't want to change a
Yeah.
child's life, right, my friend?
Yeah.
We all want to be able to change a child's life. And when we're encouraged to love our neighbor is anyone in need, whether that's across the street or across the globe.
Yep.
And no, there's no greater way to make that happen.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Thank you,
And
Joan.
of course, we want to have fun while we do it because that's what we do.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
My honor, my
We
blessing, my privilege.
love working with you.
All right. God bless. Y'all want to come with us because you want to be part of this blessing.
Yeah. It's an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing thing.
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you.
God bless.